Greetings, sensitive psychic humans. Angela Bixby here, founder of Energy Intuit, coming to you today on my YouTube channel, Energy Intuit, to bring you the second half of February energy update. All right, so who am I? I'm Angela Bixby. I've been doing this work for the last 15 years. I've been bringing forward energy updates bi-monthly since last September. Spirit's got me being here a lot more and talking about a lot of different subjects. The goal of the energy updates bi-monthly was to really help sensitive humans, psychic ones, whether you know you're psychic or not, to have a little bit of a peek at what energies are coming, what energies are here, and perhaps some tips that can help guide us on how to work with and manage and walk through and live and exist and thrive with the energies that are afoot and available to us all now. So Spirit has asked me to do this twice a month to try to help give people a bit of an energetic weather report, as it were, for navigating these transformational 20s that we're all in. I am a psychic medium. I still do mediumship readings. All of my work is done over Zoom, FYI. I run the Conscious Psychic program, a psychic development program that I've been running since 2012, and a variety of other classes, workshops. I do speaking engagements, etc. So I'm glad to be with you here today and to bring forward the channeled second half of February energy update. So those that listened to the one earlier this month, you'll know that Spirit came in and brought through a channeling, and they're not changing the format each month, but they're definitely using me as um, a voice piece, a vocal source, basically to bring through information that they would like to bring through to us. So you'll see that there are some similarities and some differences in this channeling today. The beings that I channeled were three different collectives that came through, and they brought the signature, the Council of One, at the end. So I try to identify and vet my sources as best that I can, in case, as you're listening to this, if you have some understanding, realization of what's coming through to you, you too will understand that you might be able to discern the three different voices of the councils that combined into the Council of One to bring through these messages. All right, so my style is that I channel it before I come on camera, write it all down, and so you will see me reading my screen because I'm reading what Spirit brought through in the channeling. I'm offering it up to you in the way and the method that they intended for me to bring it forward to you, which is this style. So I'll go ahead and jump right in. So this late February, today's February 13th, 2026, if anyone wants a bit of a timestamp for when I'm recording this. This is the late February energy update, the channeling that was brought through to me. The energy of the second half of February is not at all that which people are suggesting. With a huge degree of unrest upon your planet, the energies are morphing and shapeshifting to support the coming together, the unification of humans. As you find some who will not look towards nor examine the repercussions. I'm going to repeat that again. Sometimes Spirit does this. They bring through really meaty sentences, and I even have to read them a couple of times to make sure that I'm sharing this with you all appropriately. So I'm going to repeat it again. As you find some who will not look towards nor examine the repercussions of all that has been splayed open now for the world to see, it is cowardice that is keeping too many humans from looking. It is cowardice that is keeping too many humans from examining these important topics being raised upon your planet now. The less courageous ones, the humans that are still sleepwalking and clinging to cowardice, now they are feeling the thrum. Know that they are feeling the thrum of justice for humans within their souls and chests. And I'm going to lean out of the channeling for a second and tell you guys that a spirit was bringing this through. They were showing me so many humans who are perhaps having a hard time facing what we're all facing as a species on our planet this year, with lots of information that was just revealed a few weeks ago to all of us, for all of us to see and examine. That those that are in cowardice and are having a hard time facing it are feeling it almost like a huge timpani drumbeat in their chests. And I wanted to make sure to communicate that to you guys. The less courageous ones, the humans that are still sleepwalking and clinging to cowardice now, they are feeling the thrum of justice for humans within their souls and chests. They will not be able to drown out the rhythms of their soul for much longer. Grace and space are great qualities to apply now in the second half of February on your planet Earth. The humans rule your world. These are all of humanity's problems being spilled out onto the examination tables now. Please apply grace and space to yourself first and foremost, and then in support of yourself and in your and in your, excuse me, and then in support of yourself while you're in your dealings with and in support of others. It's a little bit convoluted. So they're encouraging us to apply grace and space now to ourselves as we're doing our own examination. And then as we're getting ready to interact with other humans, apply it to ourselves again and also to others. So they're really just encouraging a liberal pouring on of grace and space where you've got it to give. If you don't have it to give, then it's not time to engage with other humans around this. All right. 3 points that they wanted me to bring through, and this is how they said it. First, consider that this time to be one. Okay, sorry, the languaging of how they said this. Let me start this over. Consider that this time is meant to be seen as one part vomitus from the bellies and mouths of the beasts that have ruled your planet for centuries and eons. For 1/3 of this information, the same 1/3 they're speaking about that they just spoke about. For 1/3 of this information is likened to indigestible contents that must be vomited out in the process of forming new alliances. Parts 2 and 3 are the toxic systems, and then the individual accountability within each of us, as well as accountability to the whole. So they're suggesting that the 1/3 of the content that we're all dealing with, it may feel and look like we're examining the contents of someone's stomach that's been vomited, and they're basically vomited up, perhaps like a hairball or something when a pet coughs that up. This is what they're suggesting in that first part of the channeling of what they said. And then they suggested that the second and the third parts, the second part would be the toxic systems. And then the third part is the piece with individual accountability within each of us, and then accountability to the whole. So those are 2 parts of the third segment. Second, there is and will be a deep temptation, to revert to or divert through binaries. Right, wrong, good, bad, male, female, and any of them that come like that we all know of, right? For these are parts of dualism. Aspects of dualism. We shall focus on the latter as there is a natural inclination to see this as a men versus women construct or a man versus woman construct. Trust that you have all been raised under abusive and patriarchal conditioning. What look like individual issues are, and more so, they are systemic issues. You've all been raised under indoctrination through too many toxic aspects of the patriarchy. There is a grand deconditioning that will have to ensue to eradicate the patriarchal sludge from all of the humans' bodies and brains. They're going pretty hard on all of this, you guys. Pace yourself and stay grounded as you continue to take this in. From this, we say, allow space for accountability and contrition, and hold your boundaries strong. The systemic lens is not meant to excuse the personal responsibilities involved in the perpetuation of systemic abuses. When dualistic aspects or aspects of dualism, when binaries are removed, we decrease the fracturing of humanity. When we see through the lens of unification of your species, I say our species, they said your to me and through me, then strength is gained to dismantle and reconfigure the systems that will get to continue to support humans on planet Earth. I'm going to repeat that again because it was pretty heady. When binaries are removed, we decrease the fracturing of humanity. When we see through the lens of unification, where we've removed binaries, of your species, then strength is gained to dismantle and to reconfigure the systems that will get to continue to support humans on planet Earth. A lot of what that is saying, leaning out of the channeling and helping to explain some of that, when they phrase it as we get to, that it is a privilege for us to decide how we want the systems to be reconstructed, retooled, examined, maybe to see if they're still sound before we allow them to support us, right? So Spirit is pointing us to our personal individual empowerment and pulling some of that power out of the system perpetuators, the governing bodies, so that we can remind ourselves in that balance of power that this is us taking our power back from the systems as best that we can before we decide how we allow the systems to support us humans. Wanted to make sure to focus on that empowerment because as spirit brings through these channelings, sometimes such big concepts can really just kind of blow right past us. So I wanted to make sure to give voice to how spirit is working to empower us through this channeling. Back into the channeling now. Third, systems do not die off easily. Abusive systems and their individuals still trying to perpetuate their value will grow in their distortion now. I'm going to read that again. Third, systems do not die off easily. Abusive systems and their individuals still trying to perpetuate their value will grow in their distortion now. You will see increased efforts at control of humans in all of the ways that you are aware of and many more. So trust that we're going to see a bit of an extinction burst. We're going to see an upticking of the behaviors we've been seeing, unfortunately, on our planet. Spirit's saying to me right now, several weeks is what they're willing to commit to. Several weeks, a few months. So we're still going to be in a lot of this for the coming next few months. But I'm not going to go too far ahead because I want to honor that Spirit brought this through as a channeling for the second half of February. So I'm honoring these time constructs that we deal with here on planet Earth. You will see increased efforts at control of humans in all of the ways that you are aware of and many others. Your governments and systems that govern humans are now whispering with each other. And I saw this. They were showing me images of this. I was watching them all sort of play whispered on the lane, whispering into each other's ears. Whispering on how to perhaps use other forms of information, long hidden from most humans in the toxic bellies of sick systems, to induce fear and control paradigms again. Let me read that again. Your governments and systems that govern humans are now whispering with each other, whispering on how to perhaps use other forms of information long hidden from most humans in the toxic bellies of sick systems to induce fear and control paradigms again. We say to you that as new species from other planets are used to scare and divide humans, so they're nodding towards disclosure here. Back to the channeling, these will be further distortions and manipulations of energy for the sake of trying to hold humans down. So I'm going to read that sentence again. We say to you that as new species from other planets are used to scare and divide humans, these will be further distortions and manipulations of energy for the sake of trying to hold humans down. One of the best things that humans can do to support each other now in the second half of February and beyond is to perpetuate truces between each other. Where you bring white flags, you refuse to see other humans as enemies. From these affirmations of our humanness, we can be in grounded and caring communities together. Honor your internal senses, your intuitiveness through these dealings. Honor yourselves first and foremost and the needs of your bodies and souls. Only when you have the energy to be in the space of truce with each other will it be beneficial. If you look towards a body of beings, you will naturally find division and dividing lines everywhere. For this is part of how you have been cultured and systematized to believe. I'm going to read that one more time. If you look towards a body of beings, you will find division and dividing lines everywhere now. For this is part of how you have been cultured and systematized to believe. We in other dimensions, us winged ones in the stars who are all around you now and are poised to support you, we come through your thoughts, your emotions, your creativity, your knowings, and your downloaded packets of information. We are here for you, and you need only open up to feeling and experiencing our support, to understand it, and to be enveloped by it. We are the Council of One. Thank you. I'll be back soon with more channeled information for you all. Thank you so much for giving the video a like. And if you'd like to comment, tell me what was helpful from this channeling for you. I would love to read through that and hear what supported you in this channeling today. So feel free to comment below. Wishing you all blessed, blessed second halves of February.